Hey everybody, welcome back to Stratego Freaks for another edition of the King of Strategus. Today we have our current king, Marcy Regina Wu, going up against former king, Kanonenkeks, which I believe I have finally figured out how to pronounce. Today should be a good match, and I'll tell you why. Number one, they're both very strong players, and they've played before in the King of Strategus, and I believe the last match they had played in here was a victory for Kanonenkeks, and he was actually, I believe, if I recall the game correctly, was in kind of a disadvantaged position. Had Marcy had a bombed-in flag, he might have won that game, but Kanonenkeks, a very strong player and not afraid to go for it, went for the flag and managed to dissect the board and got there. So I'm not quite sure how Kanonenkeks is going to play today, or Marcy. Let's see if Marcy puts a bombed-in flag in use today. But while we're waiting, we have about 10 minutes. Thought I'd go over to the podium and look at not just the USA Championship, but the Dutch-Belgian. And boy, there's a lot of actual tournaments going on here. And we might as well go through all of them. And look here, our good buddy Jiren sitting atop here with the one victory. And he's got his hands full in this division for sure. There's some good players, including Eagle 06. But congratulations to Jiren for winning his first tournament. Let's head over to Group B. Some familiar names in here. Gweebs, as I like to call them, has yet to play. You got your Leo Green, Lion King, Grizzly Bear, and Spaher. I think I'm saying that right. Panther, 65. And there's our friend Kanonenkeks, former king, is started off strong. He's got a victory. Njord, Blue Tom, and DC Annies. This is a very solid group. And let's check out Group D. No, really a Goet. I think that's it. Tourney Kid. And Libby, Roger once more, the second. And everybody knows Napoleon Wonner. He's a strong player on Strategus and Stratego.com. So this is a pretty nice looking group here. Let's head on back and scroll down. And take a look here. Whoa, this is a lot of Greeks here. And let me tell you, Greeks have a lot of good players. And it shows. This is an assassin squad all the way down of strong, serious players. So that's going to be very interesting. Let's head on back and get down to the Dutch and Belgian Championship 2026. And we're looking at Group A. Dooku 77 won his match. We got a Spartacus. Looks like he got his loss there. Katama, General Patton, and Hyper Focus. He's another name. I haven't seen him playing a lot in the rankings, but we know that he is a very strong player. BFG is off to a solid start. Odo, Garuf, these are all strong players. Duncan's in there. What's up, Duncan? I want to thank Duncan for helping me out with a technical difficulty. So if you are listening, thanks again, brother. I appreciate you. And I know you're going to play some solid games here coming up in the tournament. And we've got EB124. He got a victory. DeBaff. Marmel's yet to play. And Peter, these two guys should probably have a real fun match. Let's go over to Group D. There's Skyfall, one of the coaches over on Home of Stratego Freaks Discord. He got his first victory in the tournament. Proud of him. True Aim, another solid player. Do Not Panic and Temprex round out that division there. So let's head on back and go down to the USA Championship. I kind of went over this yesterday. Yeah, Mad Boy Brad, I think he's playing winner tonight. And I'll probably tune in for that if I can. We've got Marchese, Christian F., Ruined Creature, Kamish, Battle Tested. This is all going to be good stuff. I'll be arranging my match with, I think it's against Chaos Agent. Let's see here. Yeah, shortly after, I guess, the divisions are played off today. And then we got Maelstrom, Frosty. This is a real strong group here. Remy. Hey, Remy. What's up, dude? Lotto Rush, Jackie, and the Seventh Seal. And there's Marcy, current king of Strategus and a coach on the Home of Stratego Freet Discord. So if you're looking for some great coaching, you're going to want to talk to one of our current king. Very solid player. Banana Hammock. I know things good. There's Nemesis, who did lose his first round to Marcy. And I'm looking for Nemesis to rebound and play a solid game. We got General Thompson and Venom, the Venomous Venom. So this is going to be a very interesting tournament. We've got a lot of strong players in the United States, probably more now than we ever have. And so should be very, very interesting. Let's go over here. And our players are going to be joining us soon. While we're waiting for them, let's take a look at the rankings. So winner over 800, and so is Overlord. Overlord's closing the gap here. Overlord's looking like the strongest Greek player right now, and he's trying to get up there. And I do enjoy when these two guys play each other and show us that high skill level. Loser Maker, he's sitting in there, 770, 7 C's, 758. Eagle. 732, looking real strong. There's Nemesis at 722. Garufo, Sir Keatsis, Maelstrom, all the same. This is pretty much a consistent group of solid players. There's 411 Discipline, another strong American player at 630. Henry, Warlock. What's up, Warlock? Napoleon, he sits in the top 3. I think over on Stratego.com as well, and of course Geppetto, or Gpet as I like to call him. All strong competitors here. So let's just wait and see what happens. Today is a gorgeous day. Well, it was better yesterday. We got our fog back here in Sacramento, but we went out this morning and got some air and had a nice day to start the day. And, looks like our buddy Kanonenkeks just played Gyron, and Gyron got him in a casual. And these two guys are very strong players. I've been working on a couple of content videos for the Stratego Freaks YouTube channel. I've got like 3 in the works. Our next video is going to be on some of the features, including the customization options on playstratego.com, which are a lot of fun. And then we're going to jump into the campaign option as well. And so I look forward to completing that and getting that up on the Discords and on the channel. And if you're new to Stratego, or you're just kind of getting your feet wet, I recommend opening an account on Strategus.com and playstratego.com by Wanted 5 Games. Head over there, open up an account, and really consider, you want to start with a guest account, that's fine, but really consider opening up one of their monthly memberships, which allows you to have access to all the cool stuff they have going on there. And it's a lot of fun. I've been really enjoying exploring the site and showing that to you guys out there. So anyways, it is 11:59, and I'm expecting Marcy, our king, and Kanonenkeks to play any time. It should be starting up quickly. Hopefully I got the time right, and I do believe I did. We've had a few mishaps in the past with our scheduling, and it'll probably happen again, but we want to minimize that. Just a reminder of the rules in the King of Strategus: there can be no draws. That's right, no draws. It really makes things interesting in a tight end game because it does force the players to go for it. And if the king wants to retain his title, he's got to go for it. And the challenger really will just lose their opportunity at being the king. So it makes both players go for it. And if they accept the draw, or it's just a forced draw, something like that, then the next 2 players in the queue will vie for the crown. So if you haven't joined the Discord, there's a link in our description on the YouTube channel. Just go on down there and click on it, and you can join as well and get your name in the queue, which we're going to be shuffling the order of that queue on February 1st, just to make sure that we're keeping the order fresh so you're not always kind of playing the same people. And it might be frustrating, like if we're going to keep the next two in line. And if you're at, if you've been waiting and it does get rotated, I do apologize for that. But in the long run, I think it's going to make for a better competition. And we're going to be starting a variation of the King of Strategus, or King of Stratego, on Stratego.com as well. And we're just kind of getting our ducks in a row and making sure we're doing that right. So it is 12:01, and of course royalty is going to be coming in fashionably late. If you are listening, Marcy, please join us. And there's Kanonenkeks. Kanonenkeks. I'm going to say that. All right, there they are, and they're setting up, so we might as well click on there. And this should be a really interesting game. Let me flip this. And where are we here? Boom. Oh, no, we want that. And, yep. Oh, yeah, rotate view. There we go. And go back because I am totally blowing it as usual. And there we go. Yeah, I find it very helpful to have this algebraic notation, if you will, somewhat similar to a chessboard where you can identify the squares of the pieces. And that's a pretty cool feature. So thanks again, Jim, the developer, and his team of hard-working guys over there that make Strategus such a cool site. Let's see who's tuning in up here. It's me and Christian and an anonymous. Hi, Anon, if you're listening. Guys, if you haven't liked and subscribed to Stratego Freaks on YouTube, do it now. Show us the support. We're looking to grow our channel and the community, and it's very helpful to have those subscriptions and likes. It helps us really promote the channel. So get on it, people. Do it. Help us out. So once again, the last time these two competitors matched up in the King of Strategus, Cannon Cookie managed to get to the flag, an open flag. So I'm wondering if MRW is going to bomb it in or protect it a little bit more. You never can tell with MRW. He's a very crafty, savvy player, as I've mentioned. And you can all right, here we go. So I'm going to be trying to lock in here. And I won't be paying any attention to the chat because what happens is that I get a little sidetracked and confused. So I will be looking at it from time to time, but not too often. Let's see here. All right, so we've got a couple of scouting pieces already off the board. And there's Charlie and Smalley, avid fan. And here we go. All right, so there we go. All right, looks like first blood has been drawn, and that's a missing sergeant for Cannon. And that's a front marshal up there, dancing around over there on the B5 square. Oh, and that's a hit. Going to take that scout up, and it looks like okay. MRW is going to keep that captain up there. Yeah, I've played Cookie from time to time, a few games, and really put me in a blender of bluffs. So we're probably going to be seeing some of that. All right, now we're even on the sergeants, and very even plotting game at the moment. I think, they're playing a casual. They're not going for a ranked match. It's up to the opponents to decide on that. And it really doesn't matter because the stakes are so high. You want to be the king, right? So the pressure's already built in without the raking. All right, so now down to another sergeant. And, you know, MRW, that's Marcy Regina Wu, he likes to use scouts early to get an early fix on the board and decipher where pieces are and open up some lanes, and that's pretty common for Marcy to do that. All right, if transferring of pieces, nothing major is known yet. If you're just tuning in, just a couple of captains and no major pieces yet. Hopefully Nemesis is tuning in and can give of some of his insight in the comments. Yeah, if you're looking to get involved in the King of Strategus, don't be intimidated. Come on in and play. You're gonna get a wealth of experience by playing, even in your loss if you do lose, but you also have an opportunity to win. And we've seen it here before, including myself. I'm a former king. All right, so there's a... Marcy's down the captain and discovers the major. All right, so there's a major discovery there on the other side of the board and a lieutenant gone. Pushing and then retracting. Little cat and mouse game happening here. All right, that's a good scout and well-placed miner to give up the minimum information by that scout. Yeah, it's always nice to gobble up a bunch of scouts early because they can be an important piece in the end game. Sometimes a scout can win you the game or discover that vital piece, that bomb, you know, whatever it might be, getting that spy. So, you know, I like to use, oh, and there's the gen. Marcy reveals the gen. That's a pretty early gen reveal. And let's see if Kanonenkeks can take advantage of that. Marcy, chess champion, plays quite fast, calibrates quickly, good decision maker, and I think has the highest ELO is like 620 or 630. It might be higher than that. I'm sure I'll get corrected if I'm wrong. All right, aggressive, kind of a push here on the A and B file. Okay. And now pushing up here. Both players being a little stingy. And I'd say a pretty even game thus far. Flags could be anywhere. I saw Kanonenkeks yesterday, or Kanonenkeks, whichever you prefer, had a flag on the 9 file, not on the back row. Very tricky player. You have to mix up your flag locations if you want to be good at this game. If you get predictable, you're going to get picked apart and bullied. So I do recommend doing odd flag locations from time to time. Very interesting game. You know, this is a feeling out game so far. And usually in these games, there's a moment when there's just a pop of tension and it just goes. And a lot of pieces are exchanged. But right now, both players just trying to feel out and get reads and you know, just really try to figure out how to get a piece down and attack. There's no rush here. And these vary from game to game, people's play style. You know, sometimes I go into a match where I'm just going to go, I am going to be a blitzer and just come in and lotto 2 to 3 pieces right out of the gate. And sometimes that can just put your opponent on their heels. And, okay, so MRW down a couple sergeants. Mystery pieces. Okay, so snakes, a minor, and exchanges. All right, well, we're going to see something here. We're going to discover something. That's a push and an exchange. I'd say a slight advantage. Oh, and now the advantage is in Kanonenkeks' side of the game over there because of the extra captain and a couple extra sergeants. But, you know, those pieces are going to even out, I'm sure, at some point. And it's too early to say that there's a clear advantage. All right, scouting still being used. And let's see here. All right, plenty of lanes. All right. So sergeant goes the other direction. That's expected. And another scout. So Marcy down to 1 scout. Typical. And that last scout will probably be preserved for a timely moment. Maybe to search for that spy or marshal. And it's just waiting in the wings. Side note, looking forward to some NFL football, which I'll be tuning in to very shortly. Well, I need to put on my glasses here. Ah, now I can see better. Anybody else have a feeling this game is going to be a grind? Let me know in the comments. And feel free to place your bets on flag placement and whatever else you think is going on in this game. Got a very fast pace at this moment. I think both players play pretty quickly. And we're seeing that by the almost identical time. Bombed in locations are the same. Could be anywhere. Real patient game being shown here. You can tell they're taking it seriously. Nobody really wanting to give up any advantage or put themselves in a bad position. So both players taking their time. Tucks that piece away. Making things very stingy, both players. Who knows what's about to happen here? Slight advantage only because of the big piece there for Cannon. And there's the gen. So both gens are known. I completely lost track of MRW's gen, but it is, I think it's on C4. I could be totally off on that. Someone's blasting music across the street. Hope you can't hear that. Okay, so those two miners gone is going to be a real problem. Wow. I hope you guys can't hear this Madonna being played. My God. My neighbor decided to put on a rock concert. All right, there's the exchange of gens. Yeah, interesting with the two miners now. Let's see how this plans at Pape. You know, it could be a factor for sure. All right, both marshals just unknown and secret, and most likely the piece you lead. It's not the piece you think it is. So I know that Cannon is, already thinking about those miners and is going to try to protect what he does have left. You know, you get to an end game and you've got choices to make and you have limited resources to get to the flag. Each miner, its value goes up, and MRW still has, all five. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I believe, bombed in locations possibly for Kanonenkeks. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 possible bombed in locations for MRW. MRW, multiple crown holder, has won it, lost it, won it again, and I think if he wins today, we'll have maybe tied for the most crown defenses with Frosty. We keep track of the stats there. That was interesting. I think that was a misclick. Of how many times players defend the crown, and we keep a running tally of that. And I think that's what Marcy's up to. right, so a little action, a little shuffling over here on the A and B file, pieces coming over. And a blockade of pieces for Canon, as you can see along the 7 file, follow my cursor. This is kind of a real, oh, and okay, now, here comes the kernel and snatching up that major. That changes the complexion of this game now. You know, Marcy being down that captain loved picking up that major. But now that it could be a target, but it's going to be hard to pinch off the kernel. You can't really do it now. Unless you put that kernel in a 2 square or a 50-50, it's going to be free to roam. Both players very even on time, in the 7-minute mark. Now Marcy crunching a little bit. You know, as I mentioned, Marcy, a very good chess player, plays with a clock. And there's the marshal. And that Marcy goes down a lieutenant. So this is that, you know, we talked about it yesterday, me and Nefandi, where you're up the big piece, but you're down a few. This happened with Nemesis and Maelstrom yesterday as well. And it's really, you know, it's really how you play the game from that point forward, and if you can properly utilize the big piece. But we all know that if you go down minor pieces, if you're listening to this closely, if you're new to the game, if you go down a lot of minor pieces, you get stretched thin in the end game, and you can't cover everything. There's an exchange. Information is very important in this game. You might be an information. I think, you know, you need a well-rounded game. So you need to be able to understand how to play up the big piece. You need have the material advantage and how to play with that. When to certain times you're down. Oh, that's a hit. Now, is that a possible open flag there? MRW with the sneaky miner gets it down and takes another miner away from Kanonenkeks. You know, if MRW scoops up one more miner, pressure's really on, and you're gonna have to make an excellent decision if this is a bombed-in flag. And I believe MRW has bombed it in this time, based off of what happened last time. You know, when you get your flag kind of lottoed because it was left unbombed, it leaves kind of a sour taste in your mouth, and you might alter your setup because of it. All right, so Cannon is retracting pieces and lining them up on the 9 and 10 file up there. And might be trying to protect that right side. You know, H10 could be a flag. Pushing. Is there a deceiving spy play about to happen here? Oh, and it was the spy. Cannon went for it. And there's the exchange. It didn't really matter much, but it was a very crafty spy play there. Really trying to do it. Wow, that was exciting and very cool. This reminds me of the match yesterday, between Nemesis and Maelstrom. Very similar with those pieces, up the major but down the captain and lieutenant. Now, Cannon covered that h10 piece, but now moving it out. And is this just a trap piece here? Exchange, and let's see. Cannon down to the 1 major. An exchange. Now MRW out of captains. Cannon going to try to take advantage of that, those material advantage. And I don't know if Marcy has revealed the other 2 majors yet. And deception is very important in a game like this. Looking to shut this board, this side. Oh, okay. This is going to be very interesting here. What is that coming down? Is this going to be the 50-50 moment, or is Marcy going to test that h10 coming in? Cannon didn't seem too concerned about it. And for really the first time, Marcy is really crunching and thinking, like, was it too easy to get there? Doesn't want to expend a piece on something unnecessary. You know, it's all crucial, especially being down. That could be a major, just trying to entice a hit by anything over there, but Cannon being very patient if that is the flag. Yep, this is going to be an exchange of majors most likely. And then followed up with a, oh, that's the spy. But finds the colonel, okay. An exchange. Cannon most likely bringing out a major here. Or captain. Going straight, and there's the exchange. Now it's the big piece game up against the minor pieces. And a mystery piece coming out right now. Marcy Regina Wu bringing out this J-file piece, trying to get over. Nope. Just coming down to get a reaction, it looks like. It could even be a scout. Cannon Cookie going around the lake here. Ring around the rosy. Now, there's plenty of minors left. There's 4 over here for MRW. And it's going to be interesting for sure. Because right now, it looks like there's 2 potential tripods here. But Cannon not biting, not trying to take anything because, you might be getting suckered. And is making Marcy really work for it. And a little bit of anti-playing here. And it's going to force Marcy to make a decision. Oh, what do we got here? Cannon bullying with that potential captain. And that's what it looks like. And now what's coming up here? Interesting. Okay. So this Cannon's piece on B7 right now, look, it's acting like the captain. And but once again, you can't be too sure. And if, desperation does come, that H10 square would probably get tested by Marcy. Could have been a tripod, but it's really hard to say because of the lack of concern that Kanonenkeks showed there. All right, another piece move. So now we're down to one possible bombed-in location. And remember, Kanonenkeks is not opposed to doing a strange flag placement, so it could be on the 9 line there. This piece is coming in. It looks like we're going to see an attack here. Boom. That's a bomb. Boom. Another one. That's 2 bombs gone. 3 bombs gone. Okay. So that's good to know for Marcy. That's 4 bombs gone. So only 2 remain. So we have an open flag. And that is very interesting. Now, it could be in the corner. But, once again, I mean, if we're looking at it realistically, I would say the prime candidates are B through, it could be E or D, but B through D. And it would be wild if there was a bombed-in piece here, too. But Regina Wu could have a last-ditch effort here and could hit that flag. It's going to be hard to get something down, though, especially, the material advantage going in the favor of Cannon Cookie here. So, yeah, there's going to be decisions made here. I'm leaning towards D10 as the flag. But if Marcy commits and loses that major, this game would be wraps. Pushing. Might be trying to bring up a lieutenant and test one of these pieces here. Nemesis, or noob that plays with 2 fingers thinking it's flag on E10. Or it can't be E10. Maybe D10. That's what I'm thinking as well, D10. Place your bets, people. Get this cursor out of the way. That must be annoying. I apologize for that. Trying to get something down. Such a tricky endgame. J10 possibly? Yep. That's an option. That would be wild. But this is a great game, guys. For this is a high quality game. And if you're new to the game, pay attention to what you're seeing here today. Flag could be anywhere, and the resources are low for MRW. Does have the 3 minors, but how do you get them down? Finding that last, bomb or finding one more bomb, it'd be pretty wild. And Cannon has 2 minors on the board too. What pieces are they? Because it's not, oh, another piece coming up. Is this going to just be a lane blocker? What a great match. Time is, crunching down, but still not a factor because of the pace in which these players usually move at. So until it gets down to under a minute, you don't really, they're fine. Okay. Oh, another miner gone. This is huge. So there is no bombed in piece. Kanonenkeks resources are down to 1. And, MRW has the freedom with that big piece to test, B, C, or even J. And it's going to come down to that. Where is this last miner? Because that's going to, I feel like the last miner hasn't moved yet. And once it makes its appearance, that will give MRW an understanding. Now, it looks like MRW's tripod is, flag is on the F1 there, but I don't know. It might just be, he might just be moving that over to make it impossible for a flag to penetrate, or I should say a piece to penetrate a miner. Is that right, noob? Yeah. B1, D1, F2 tripod on G1, yeah. Could be. That's hilarious. All right, here we go. All right, wasn't falling for it, but locates that piece. Now, Marcy in a lot. Oh, is that possibly a way to get down here? Doesn't look like he can get there. It's going to get pinched off. Oh, look at this. Crafty play here. Putting that piece in the 2-square situation. Maybe forcing. Yep. All right, this piece is possibly locked off here. But now, this is very interesting. It's going to force an exchange. Because if let's see. Another piece. Now things are kind of on a lockdown. This is a very interesting endgame. Yep. Pushes. Marcy's going to get this piece to the back row. Here he goes. Moving the major in the right spot in case there is a take there. Decisions. Hits. Here we go. Now, this is very, very crazy scenario here. 1 bomb left on the board. Both players have 1 miner left. Is it J10? Is it B10? Or one of these 9-row pieces? And we've seen Canon do that before. So this is so interesting. And what a great endgame here. King of Strategus showing why we love this game. Yeah, really crafty play by Marcy to get that piece back there. Very skilled. It's a 50-50, really, according to Noob that plays with 2 fingers. All right, it looks like MRW is going to make a decision here. If it is an oddly placed flag on B9, I mean, this is the type of game where you'd want that crazy flag spot because, you know, it's hard to make a call on that. Okay, he's hitting. So this is what it's really going to come down to here. All right, he's going to take a piece. Bang. There's the scout, last scout. So it looks like the last minor, oh boy, so it's probably J10? I don't know. But it can't move because if it moves, then we know where the flag is. So our king is definitely in a situation here. Nope, not ready to pull the trigger there. Oh my golly, there goes the last minor. It wasn't going to get out anyway, but definitely one piece. Now, if Marcy had a piece to get... And there's the flag! Marcy Regina Wu retains the crown with a 50. It could have been either one, but makes the right decision. Kind of had to. Just had to go for it there, the last remaining piece. So there you have it. What a crazy end game and a highly skilled one at that. And it was the classic game, you know, up the big piece, down the minors, getting pinched off, and, you know, made the right decision. And that's why Marcy is the king. A great game by Kanonenkeks, former king, and showing why he was that former king with a great game there. That could have went either way, and I don't know about you, but I thought that was fantastic. So congratulations, Marcy Regina Wu. You have retained your crown and are adding to your crown, total crown defenses, and you can add that accolade to your to one of your many accolades. So congratulations again. Guys, I got to go. That was super fun. I'll see you on Strategus. I'll see you on Stratego.com, and I'll beat you there too. Bye now.